Welcome guys, my name's Charles and you are watching Charles Soundbox TV. As you can see in the background, we have a lovely backdrop, Tower Bridge, located in central London, and this is where we're going to be doing our video today. In this video installment, we're going to be touching on agility, balance and coordination. Whenever I'm in the gym, I'm always finding out that, many of the beginners that are attempting to step forward in the world of boxing normally have poor footwork, bad balance, and then just a calamity with their coordination. So we're going to try to help out a few of the guys that want to start boxing and then try to work out how we can improve their agility, balance and coordination through a series of footwork drills and then slips. So I'm going to get on to the agility drills that you need to do to improve your footwork in terms of your agility, balance and coordination. So the first one that you need to be doing is in a square stance and then moving laterally. Every time you change direction, the foot in the direction of movement stiffens up, the foot opposite is relaxed, and you're pushing with this foot to go in that direction. So there, there, there. You want to try this in a circle as well. Okay, with this particular drill, maybe you'll have your coach signaling or prompting, whether it's clapping his hands, blowing a whistle, for you to change direction. And what you're supposed to do is obviously see how quickly you can change your foot from one being relaxed to one being slightly taut, okay, so stiff or tight, okay, in terms of the tension. The second drill is shuffling in the square stance. So in terms of the shuffle, what you're trying to do, again in the square stance, you're moving with one foot, there, bounce, slight bounce, not too much of a jump, there, there, okay? So what we're going to try to do is move forward with this and then move backwards. So here, okay, so this is moderate speed. Okay, when you're going backwards, you're there, okay. Now if I'm to speed this up to real time in boxing, what you're looking at is this type of pace with a bit of head movement as well. Okay, now in the square stance, you're going to have great mobility in the lateral directions, poor mobility going forward. So this is a good drill to improve your movement going forwards whilst being in the square stance. Okay, so what we're trying to do as well is not telegraph the movement. If we're doing the same thing every time, our opponent can actually anticipate where we're going to be. So sometimes you want to do two shuffles, then one, two shuffles, then two, then one, two, then one, two, then one. Okay? Okay, in Cuban boxing, these particular drills with the square stance are performed consistently with training, okay? Limiting yourself to only practicing drills within the normal stances, so southpaw and orthodox, limits your degrees of freedom when you're in the ring. Boxing is highly dynamic, so you would want to practice agility drills for orthodox, southpaw and the square stance. Remember, moving forwards in the square stance, you should not try that in sparring unless you perform the agility drills to allow you and enable you to move efficiently with them. Okay, so guys, to improve your agility moving forwards in a normal stance, what we're going to try to do is called the Pendulo step, okay? So the Pendulo step can happen forwards, backwards, and then left and right. So we're going to try this, okay? It's small steps, there, 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 okay? There, 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 okay? Now, whenever I'm moving forwards, I'm pushing with the back foot. Whenever I'm moving backwards, I'm pushing with the front foot, okay? So there, there, backwards, there, there, okay? Now we can also do this in the right and left direction, so in the lateral directions. So here, there, 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 okay? Now we're gonna try to do this in a cross motion, okay? So we go forwards, backwards, then right and then left. So here, the next drills that I'm going to show you are for balance, okay? So we're going to focus on two particular movements that will enable you to improve your balance. So the first one is pivots, okay? So what we're trying to do is minimize momentum, okay? So when we have momentum, balance is all about controlling the momentum, okay? Not staying in a perfect stance and moving like that, okay? This is not balance. This is not where you have good balance, okay? Because you're always in a position that has good static balance, okay? So we want good dynamic balance, and that will entail you minimizing the momentum with the forces, i.e. your feet, okay? So for this particular drill, we're going to do 4 pivots, okay? And we're doing 90-degree turns, okay? So we start in the combat position, there, 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 okay? We always want to maintain a visual, okay, along our eye line. We don't want to be looking down at the floor whilst we're doing this. So if I'm here, I look here, there, 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 okay? Now you want to do this as fast as possible. Okay, so following the 90-degree, the 4 90-degree pivots, we want to try 2 180-degree pivots, okay? There, there, okay? Now, obviously we would want to speed this up, okay? So it's more in line with the speed that you're going to require for performance in a boxing ring. Doing it slowly is more for accuracy, but doing it at speed is more for performance, okay? The next drill we're going to do is outsteps, okay? So the outsteps that you normally have are when you take a foot away from the equilibrium position, i.e. your stance position. So this way you have static balance. To introduce the idea of more dynamic balance, we want to take the jab foot, the lead foot, out like that, okay? Practice that 5 times. There, 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 okay? Every time we do this, the back foot flattens out, the lead foot, heel comes off, okay? Now what happens, our head doesn't really translate forward, it rotates, and then we take it back towards this foot, okay? Our hip translates forward and rotates, okay? This is how you minimize the danger in throwing a punch. The first punch, which is your jab, which should really be your safety punch that allows you to gauge range and actually come into contact with your opponent. And then you can commit with the right hand. Boom. You see there, with the right hand, my head translates. So this is why we're practicing the jab in this manner. So we're there, 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 okay? Now the second outstep is the left foot outstep, okay? Now this normally involves movement with the check hook. So again, the back foot is up. When we perform the check hook, okay, the left outstep, the back foot comes back down to the floor, and then we're looking 90 degrees in this direction, okay? So this has to be strong to maintain this position, okay? When I come back, there, 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 there. So the rotation of my hip, the catch on the floor with my foot, okay, is where we have initial momentum and then we use the force from the floor to control that momentum. If you don't control that momentum, okay, if you don't practice this move, you're not going to be able to do it in boxing, okay? So you're going to be limited by your movement, okay? If you manage to catch the floor, you're able to throw a punch where you have no recoil, okay? If you slip, there's recoil, okay? So by maintaining your foot on the floor, you maintain no recoil, no momentum, and balance. The next out step is going to be to the right, okay? So this comes, normally when you set up your opponent with a left hook, okay, going out to the right, you take a jab, and then this movement will follow, boom, okay? So what happens, your left shoulder comes around, boom, okay? And your right foot comes into contact with the ground flat, your left heel lifts up, okay? And what we do there, we want to maintain, again, balance, okay? So we want to switch from having the heel up there to being flat to the heel coming up there and being raised, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Boom, boom, okay? As you can see, I'm actually turning my head out 90 degrees. This is just to help me with the rotation of my body. But in the ring, you'll try to maintain visual with your opponent. So here, boom, okay? Boom, bah, okay? Okay, so the last 2 out steps are on the way back. So as you are moving back with your lead foot and your back foot, okay? So with this one, what you're trying to do is practicing bringing this back foot to the floor as you come here like that, okay? Turning out to the right, okay? So here, boom, boom, okay? Boom, okay? So as you can see, this foot translates from the front to the rear in a straight line, okay? Just there, okay? Leaning slightly back on this foot. This foot is taking most of the weight, okay? Just there. So we try this 5 times. My body turns out to the right, but I try to keep my head fixed on my opponent there, okay? What you can do with this particular move, when you're setting up an opponent, you can take a jab, boom. As soon as they come, boom, okay? With the left uppercut, from there, boom. With the right, then spin out. The out step that everyone is familiar with is the back foot, okay? So what we're doing here, right foot, boom, okay, there. So we open up our body, okay, in terms of our base. Our shoulders rotate over to the left, okay, boom, okay. Now this is good for a right hand, okay, boom, okay. So there, 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 okay. So again, you want to try this 5 times. Repeat the movement, boom, 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 ba, 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 okay. I didn't count that, but you get the picture, you get the idea. Okay, so coordination. For some of you clumsy boxers that are stepping in the ring, males and females, okay, this is the first drill that I want you to practice. Again, it's going to be in your square stance. You are coordinating your left hand and your right leg, your right hand and your left leg. Okay, it's a contralateral move. You want to make sure that you're taking small steps, okay, just like this. Have good control. Boom, beep, 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 ba, beep, 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 ba, beep, 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 ba. Okay, you can do this with uppercuts and hooks as well. So beep, 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 ba, beep, 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 ba. Okay, hooks, beep, 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 ba, beep, beep, ba. Okay, so you want to try that 5 times, maybe shadow box that, move in the square stance, surprise your opponent, beep, beep, ba, beep. Okay, so you're combining this with the lateral movement in the square stance, uppercut, beep, beep, ba, beep, and then hooks. Okay, All right, so you can do this in your shadow boxing. Instead of always being in this position, throwing your punches like this, go in your square stance, okay? Most boxers don't know how to deal with an opponent that opts to move in the square stance with good lateral movement and very relaxed at the same time, okay? He doesn't actually know where you're gonna go. He doesn't know whether you're gonna attack or move backwards or even come forwards. Doesn't really know. So you can surprise your opponent in this position if you have good balance and good coordination. So the next drill we're going to do for coordination is going to be your slips, okay? So we're going to use kinetic link. The idea of kinetic link is where all of your joints for a particular movement are joined together and translate the movement from the initial start point to the end point. So in my back foot, whenever I want to slip this way, I rotate my back foot that way. So here, there, okay? Now my head should not go outside as a gauge for where my center of mass lies. Now obviously I know when my head goes out here, my center of mass is still slightly in between, okay? So to maintain good balance, I need to maintain my center of mass within these two base points here, okay? So I use my head as a gauge, so I know that, you know, by my head being in line with my foot, I'm always in balance, okay? So whenever I want to slip to the left, I rotate over here with my back foot. Whenever I want to slip to the right, I rotate my foot and make it come into contact with the ground, the toe and the heel, okay? So to coordinate your movements for your slips, you'll try to move forwards. First of all, in a static position, you just want to rotate, okay? Come back to the normal stance position. Again, rotate, come back to normal stance. You can combine that with counters as well. So out to the left, hook, left, right, uppercut, okay? And then back to the stance position. Now when you're moving forward, okay, and you're the aggressor in this situation, you want to have two types of slips that you're employing. Obviously, there, come back, or there, come back. Do you see that on the lead step, I'm slipping left and right to add variety to my movement. Okay, so again, there, come back, there, come back. So my footwork is such that when I slip to the left, my head already has that conditioning of just being above the foot. Then I come back to this position, and then when I slip over to this side, remember your foot rotates down, comes into contact with the ground. So on this step, I actually rotate my body, or my head I should say, back to the rear foot, okay? Then I come back. So this is where you have slips on the lead foot in both directions, okay? Now when I want to slip in both directions on the rear foot, I can do that as well. So I take the rear foot and then I slip, okay? Come back up. I take the lead foot and then I slip, okay? Both slips are occurring on the rear foot, okay? And then I come back to my normal stance position. If I combine that, I can use a double slip. So I can slip here, there, here, there, here, there, okay? So this is how you would need to coordinate this type of movement, and then try to do it with speed. So there, 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 there. Both directions, moving backwards as well. There, 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 there. Feints as well. Okay, so utilize both slips on the lead foot, left and right. Utilize both slips on the rear foot, left and right. Now, the ultimate test of coordinating yourself is to see if you can combine all of the movements together, okay? So, moving from the square stance, ba ba, beep beep ba, back into stance, okay? Still with the bounce, okay? there, there with your rear out step, okay? Then here with the slip, rotate round, 180-degree pivot, okay? Rear step, out step, then left step, out step, boom, okay? So combining all of these movements, there, 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 okay? This is how you can improve your shadow boxing as well. If you're able to bring all of these ingredients together while shadow boxing without even getting to the stage of throwing a punch, your bottom half will be impeccable, okay? So when your opponent sees how you're moving, he will always be hesitant. He'll always be cautious because of how you are displaying your technical merits in terms of your footwork, okay? Once you start punching, he's gonna think that you're punching from a different dimension, okay? Because he won't see them coming. Your moves will be so unorthodox, he won't be able to see any telegraphing of punches. He won't be able to anticipate your movement, your current movement. So then he won't be able to understand when it's more likely for you to throw a punch. And in that situation, that's where you've won, okay? So, and that's why they say most fights are won in the gym, okay? Not in the ring, but in the gym. Right, guys, we've come to the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you will be able to like, share, comment, and just live the dream of practicing these moves and then showing up to the gym, slapping some of these things in front of your coach, making him pat you on the back, and you know, just embodying the feeling of a winner and a true champion. So I'm going to see you in my next video, but remember, subscribe, hit that notification button, throw an uppercut at it, left hook, right cross. Dog's even wanting to subscribe as well, so that's good. Okay, buddy, chill. God damn it. Right, guys, I'll see you later. Peace.